Hey everyone. Just a really quick one. I had to come on because things aren't making sense. The narrative of what's happening right now doesn't make sense, and people are just following it blindly. And it's a worry to see this happening because the figures aren't making sense. We are actually deeply diving into what's been happening at the lockdowns. We've found they were saying 3,000 people were locked down there at Flemington and North Melbourne. The number's going to be closer to 10,000. They said 2,515 tests were conducted. That's basically a fifth of all the people that we think were actually there in lockdown. Now, Victoria wide in the last 5 days, there has been over 100,000 tests. Out of those 100,000 plus tests, it looks like there may be around about 1,000 people that have come up as having coronavirus, which is around about 1% of those people. So 1% of those people has enforced stage 3 lockdowns Victoria wide, and the idea of not mandating masks but suggesting everyone wears masks if they're within close proximity. But the way they've worded it, a lot of people have now gone, I'm watching them everywhere wearing masks in the street daily. Now, masks actually lower your immunity. So doing that doesn't make a lot of sense. The other thing that doesn't really add up is they haven't really reported on individual cases and how it works. So within the lockdown towers, have they quarantined the people that they found have got COVID? Or are they still in their rooms? Are they leaving their rooms? Are their rooms guarded? How are they actually doing it with these people? Because we actually don't 100% know how they're quarantining these people. Out of the cases that they found at Alfred, of the 53 people, how many are actually sick? How many are asymptomatic? We don't actually know this. Out of the 288 cases they found today, how many of those people are sick? How many are asymptomatic? Of the 9 people in intensive care, how many have underlying health issues? And what are the ages? They never report on the ages of these people at all. So there's a lot of things that don't make sense. On top of this, sporting wise, my friend booked in tennis courts for the weekend, and I said, there's no way you can play tennis because you're 30 meters apart, you are using a ball that you're touching, both of you are touching it all the time. So there's no way you can play tennis. But it looks like tennis and golf and fishing and these things are still allowed. If this is such a contagious disease, you wouldn't have those things being allowed because even golf as an individual sport, you put your hand in the hole every single time and the hole touches all of your hands. And your hands are meant to be the biggest transition point. And they're saying now it's airborne, it's not airborne. I don't think they actually know exactly what they're doing. I don't know if anyone's realized this yet, but it doesn't make sense, any of that stuff. We need some answers. And what we're currently doing is we're getting a lot of businesses getting online with us, and they are going to do a class action as well because the businesses, some are getting closed down and some are being left open. But the discretionary points between which business stays open and which one say closes makes no sense. And all of the private sector is still working. And they're even moving private sector people into other jobs. Now, I'm going to put a call out here for any whistleblower nurses that were doing the testing on the lockdown sites. You've got full immunity if you come forwards to us to talk about what was happening there. We want to know if you guys were getting paid per test that you got done. We want to know what the conditions were like. We need to know everything. Anyone from the police force that wants to come forwards, DHHS, community members, we want to hear all the stories because honestly, nothing makes sense about what's happening right now within Victoria. So we want to hear from all of you. I guess that's about it. We've just had a big donation from one of our local party shops here in Elsternwick of 50 neon balloons. So we're going to head down to Alfred Street. I know it doesn't seem like much, but we want these people to know they're not forgotten. So we're going to head down there and line the fences with these neon balloons. They've even lit them up so they should stay lit for the next 3 days. At the end of the 3 days, we'll go and put more around there. So everyone keep spreading light and love, and we'll get through this together, and don't be fearful. That mask is about submitting. That mask is about the narrative, and it's a symbolic thing. We don't need a symbolic mask to say to people, you've got to be careful and wash your hands. Just tell people to wash their hands and be careful. Symbolic masks are going to make people sick, and breathing in their own carbon dioxide. So let's get out there. Don't be fearful. Love each other more than ever before, because you're all amazing people. Peace.